So I just got back from speaking at a local conservation district association. They held their AGM, and they invited me in to speak about sustainability and my perspective in regards to bees and beekeeping and all that stuff. So I provided the same presentation I did when I spoke at the Provincial Conservation District Association conference. And I have to say, today went a lot better than my previous presentation I made in Winnipeg in front of the Red River Apiarist Association. So I'm content. I'm nothing brilliant up there, but I got my message across, and I had that relationship with the crowd. They laughed when they were supposed to laugh. I pulled out characters from the crowd and interaction, and it worked really well. I was very happy with the way the afternoon went. One of my buddies of mine, he says, "Hey, dude, you gotta turn that anxiety into energy." I completely know what he means, but it's a lot easier said than done. Sometimes I'm able to take this energy, and it's all in your mind. It's all in my mind. Just take this anxiety and anxiousness and flip it into energy, and just use it. And by using it, it helps you prepare better, helps you focus on your material, and it brings that energy into your presentation where it brings that excitement in what you're trying to say, and that in itself connects with the crowd. I'm part of a Toastmasters club, local Toastmasters club. It's a meeting that is probably one of my most beneficial meetings, but it's probably one of my most hated meetings also. I just hate the meeting, but it's provided me a lot of gold. And and during one of the meetings, one of the head guys got up and spoke, and he was talking about how when you start speaking, you're nervous, you're not used to speaking in front of crowds, and so you have all this anxiety. Then you speak a few times, and you get more comfortable with it. You actually start liking it. You're thinking, hey, shit, I'm actually doing a pretty good job here. And then you learn a little bit more about public speaking and conveying thought and such, and then you absolutely crash. You all of a sudden just start giving terrible presentations. And one of the reasons for that, he was saying that it's because you're anxious, you've never done this before, and you start speaking, and you realize, hey, I can actually do this. And that interaction with the crowd and just conveying thought, and it just becomes very exciting, and you really start to enjoy it. But at the same time, you start teaching yourself how to present better, and how to channel your thought better, and convey with the crowd, and connect with the crowd, and all this kind of jazz. So then you start putting more pressure on yourself. And when you start realizing all these quirks and all these mistakes you're making, you start getting more anxious about the next time you deliver, and it's got to be better. You start setting that higher standard, and in a way you kind of set yourself up to fail, because you start presenting, and you're not achieving what you do or what you want, and you just completely implode in a way, and the presentation is terrible. In actual fact, it may be the same caliber presentation as you were giving before. It's just you realize all your limitations and such, and then everything you're trying to achieve and what you're not achieving, and all this stuff just compounds and just breaks you down. And I can completely relate with that, and I've experienced that 100%. And it's just about being able to build that confidence and get past it, and I'm just having trouble with that. So these meetings have been really beneficial. It just keeps me, I need practice. It just allows me to, it's every week, we meet every week. I can't make every meeting, but I go as many times as I can. And it just, puts you in a situation where you're consistently practicing in front of people. Because I always say, and it kind of sounds stupid, but it's absolutely true. A lot of the time the crowd is just there to hear your content. Everybody wants a good presenter, so you got to do an adequate job, but they're there to hear your content. They could give a damn about you, or they could give a damn about the mistakes you're making, or the way you present or whatever. They're there to listen to what you have to say, and they'll show up to listen to what you have to say if what you're saying is important or interesting. So, as presenters, we focus a lot around ourselves, very self-conscious, but a lot of the time the crowd could really give a damn. They're just there because they want to hear what you have to say and the content. So, although that meeting I was giving, that presentation that didn't go so well, I actually experienced people walking out on me because there's another thing when you're up there and you convey awkwardness, the crowd gets awkward, and you're conveying nervousness, the crowd gets nervous, and some people can't handle that. So they're sitting in the crowd, they don't have a lot invested in being there, so they feel like you're up there just making an ass of yourself because you're awkward and nervous, and they're awkward and nervous. They're not sure if they're actually getting anything out of it, so they just pull the pin and they walk out. That's terrible. I hate when that happens, but it's something you just got to recognize as a situation, a circumstance as a presenter. So anyways, I think that's good. I feel good about that last presentation, even though it's only in front of like 35 people. It's all the same jazz to me. And I have a presentation coming up middle of February. I was starting to get really nervous about. Actually, I have 4 presentations that day, that Saturday. One in the morning, and then 3 separate workshops in the afternoon. They split the crowd up. So I'll be speaking pretty much all day. So I'll be earning my keep. And really looking forward to it. So we'll just see. Better start preparing for that one.